ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got game number 2 coming at you here. As you can see, Bad Monkey Gaming, of course, on the Legion side now, Stay Green on the Hellborn side. All right, so last game, again, notice off the bat, we talked about how no junglers being banned, and you're mentioning how both these teams just like to run that jungler. But, you know, jungler is one thing, but Ophelia, man. I mean, if there is a jungler that's going to be banned, I feel like it's Ophelia. And she, no doubt, had another big impact there that game, specifically for BMG. There is one jungler banned this time around, and it's Parasite, actually. So, well, what do you think about these bans here? Pharaoh, Parasite coming out, Sir Bennington, Rhapsody, and then there you go, Ophelia first picked.
I mean, we kind of missed out on talking about it last game, but Swindle did pick Parasite as his first pick hero, and of course he did have the plan of going Parasite Tundra, which was obvious, as you got to the third pick, but he did pass up on Ophelia, and to me that just doesn't make any sense at all. I feel like Ophelia, at the moment, personally I think Kronos is probably equally strong, but those two heroes are just so incredibly powerful in the meta game right now, and allowing for a team to get both Ophelia and Rhapsody. Rhapsody is basically the only support hero that will allow pushing lineups to go from god tier to like whatever is above that. It's just amazing, the synergy between Ophelia and Rhapsody in general, just with a pushing jungler.
Yeah.
So allowing for BMG to have both those when you're running a ganking lineup is a big misdraft in my opinion, from Swindle's end. But it's so easy to sit here as a caster and just like, hey,
of course,
that was bad and that was bad in hindsight. But yeah, it came down to strategy. They ran what do you call it? Like a ganking strategy against a pushing strategy, and that just never works out. The pushing lineup's always going to stick together as 5, and you're never going to have any opportunities to gank them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this time he once again gives away Ophelia, but this time he did ban out the Rhapsody. I think that's really, really key to note, and that's why BMG aren't going for this heavy push lineup, and they're instead running more safe carry lineup, more traditional, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, obviously the actual lineup that we have here, Ophelia, Puppet Master, Torturer, coming out from BMG. Pestilence, Drunken Master, Tempest, coming out for Stay Green. So definitely some good synergy on either side, of course, that you can note here. Stay Green specifically with that minus armor and the physical presence that they bring to the table. Already very, very threatening. The bands coming out, Bubbles, Gauntlet, Blitz, Madman, Wretched Hag, and Pebbles were the 6 bands to happen here. And now BMG going to follow up with their next tier picks here. But how do you think the draft is going so far for either side?
I mean, it's kind of obvious to me that Stay Green haven't really been playing Han for a little bit, because they're kind of picking the same things that they were picking around DreamHack and that period of time. The meta game has shifted a little bit. Oh, wow. But yeah, no, they're still kind of stuck in one step ago kind of meta, I feel, when it comes to their picks. Similar with the last draft, they're picking the same stuff they picked at DreamHack. Pestilence, Drunken Master, which was basically their DreamHack combination, whatever you want to call it. Those were the 2 heroes that really made their DreamHack this year. So.
Yeah. So almost as if this lack of playing a whole lot lately because of them automatically qualifying is what you're getting at. Maybe
exactly.
Keeping them out of the loop a little bit. But,
yeah.
Well, I don't know if Bramble is part of that loop, but clearly BMG is going to give him a go here.
I don't know. We picked Bramble and IG a little bit. I don't think you guys ever casted it, but
oh, we have seen it. We have seen it.
Yeah.
Okay,
remember. Maybe. All right. No, we did pick there, and he is powerful, man. I'm not like the ability that makes your team basically invulnerable. I don't know which one of them it is, but it's like you cannot kill the team when the thing is up. The only problem is
shrubbery. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. W. Yeah, the W, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure. Yeah. So he's a very, very powerful hero, and I think if you're pushing aggressively, if you're going for this like really, really in-your-face kind of a lineup, he's really, really strong. The problem with the hero is he's pretty hard to lane, and ideally you want to probably put him in the middle lane, maybe dual mid or maybe even solo. If you could match him up 1 versus 1 in the mid, that'd be probably optimal. But I think in a 2v2 against something weaker, like maybe the Drunken Master and Pestilence, neither of those really have a big killing impact during the low levels, so you kind of can get away with the Bramble pick. Yeah. So, yeah, I think they might really work out here.
We will see. Bramble coming out. That is fun indeed. Tundra going to be the final pick actually for Bad Monkey Gaming, so they get their vision there with the Shiver, of course, and what I'm guessing is going to be a Suicide Tundra here, but I mean, I don't know what Bramble's likelihood of being more of a Suicide hero would be, but
I don't know. But I think they could definitely put Bramble. It's kind of hard. If it's a solo short lane from Stay Green, which I doubt, I think it's going to be a dual lane with the Pestilence on the Empath down there. Which is why I don't really like the Tundra pick against that short lane dual lane, because he's not really going to have an easy time getting experience. Empath is going to be able to zone him out just perfectly, I think. So, a little bit... I mean, normally you'd see BMG in this kind of a situation, they always like to get a suicide that's able to get something.
Yeah.
And considering that Grinix is on the board, Scout is on the board, Keeper of the Forest even, heroes that they like to run, maybe not Keeper, but definitely Grinix and Scout, choosing to go for the Tundra here, I think maybe they're using this a little bit more as a opportunity to try stuff out than taking it dead serious as if it was Onto or something.
No, yeah, that is, again, that's something we do have to go back to. When we see picks like this, they are ultimately using this as preparation as well. This isn't like the grand finals of some major event by any means, or even a Haunter cycle for that matter. It is a King of the Hill event, which, sure, there technically is something on the line, but most certainly the teams are really using this for that preparation time. So, yeah, keeping that in mind, the final pick Warbeast coming out there, but I'm looking at this Hellborn lineup over here in Stay Green, and they have a lot of farm to go around. Drunken, Pestilence, Tempest, and Warbeast all going to be wanting some decent farm here on their side. So, I wonder if that could be an issue as far as the game progresses.
It could be, especially when you're going up against a Tundra, and it does look like it's going to be a middle lane Tundra played by Super KG.
Okay, yeah.
It definitely is. It's a hard hero to farm against. The Hawk really just shuts you down really, really effectively. It's similar to a Nymphora, how once Nymphora gets level 6, if you have a ganker with a Blink Dagger, maybe Pebbles, is probably the first thing that comes to mind, it gets very, very hard to stay on lanes. You got to farm the jungle, you got to farm where the other team does not have any wards, and eventually you just feel yourself getting out farmed, and you start getting stressed, and you're like, oh my god, they're farming more than us, we're not getting the resources we need. And Tundra kind of similar effect, and Stay Green running kind of a farm lineup, as you mentioned, against it. It's going to be rough. They really need to come out of lanes well.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting laning phase here, to say the least, when it comes down to it. Chesty playing his signature Warbeast here. We see him playing in that long lane, not usually the role that he plays, but again, with this hero, it's just he is so good at it and so experienced with it. So, going to be playing that long lane Warbeast against the Fuzi Puppet Master down here. We'll see how that fares out. Empath is lining up like she is going to, sure enough, be in that middle lane here with the Drunken Master, as you got Torture and Bramble going to the top lane. Is she going to move? Okay, yeah, she's going to move.
Yeah. That seems more probable.
She placed a ward of sight, actually. Okay, that's a very defensive ward of sight there. But vision over the river there.
Exactly. I mean, it gives vision where he needs it.
Makes
he pretty much
sense.
just does the job. Yeah.
This is interesting, though. Bramble, Torture, long lane. That's going to be... so they are running a pseudo-trial lane here, basically, with the Ophelia coming up as well.
And it looks like Stay Green they knew what was coming. Z-Free placed the counter ward up here to block the camp. Did Seal Kid... No, his must be outside. It's an attempt to counter ward the camp. It has to be.
Yeah.
And Minot's really, really smartly here. I mean, I think this is the first time I've ever seen him kill a camp inside of the spawn. But in this game, it's the right decision. He's blocking the camp for Ophelia. She's not going to have any camps up here for another minute, which is going to allow Minus to simply just free farm and not have a problem at all without Ophelia. Really, really, really smart play on their end.
Yeah. So blocking himself, kind of, but at the same time, as you put it, really taking it away from Ophelia, if anything, from her coming over and ninjaing it. So she's going to go back to her own jungle in the end. So once again, a lot of movement coming out from Hanskin, just like last game. But her own jungle, nothing really blocked in the end, so... should be able to make good use of that here.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that's kind of important to note is that Stay Green, they didn't really pick a Limp hero, so he's kind of stuck here on Drunken Master, which normally would be played by Chessie. And I know for a fact that Limp does not like playing Drunken Master at all. When Stay Green was initially trying the hero out and seeing if it was worth picking or not, Limp was playing it, and they were just like, this hero's complete garbage. And yeah, so he's a struggle with that hero before. So probably keep an eye on that, see if he does better this time.
Yeah, going up against Super KG's Tundra as well. And again, I feel like Super KG, he's really playing a lot of these different... He played Feral last game, he played Tundra this game. Again, on Tuesday, he played Magnus both of the games. So, again, I don't know if that's the case of just simply trying to prepare, trying to try different things in this player role specifically, or just simply happens to be kind of a change of pace and coincidence here in the end. But once again... kind of a different role coming out here. 10-1 Tundra versus a 13-0 Drunken Master. With that said, here in the middle lane, so kind of a close back and forth there. But Bramble at the top side, he's 5-1 to start against a 9-1 Pestilence. Right now, the lane positioning is in favor though of BMG. We'll see how they can do as far as keeping that is concerned.
It's a big difference between this game and last game. The last game, the lane control gave BMG the possibility to get really, really easy ganks up in the short lane. Whereas in this game, you got a Tempest in the jungle and you got an Empath Pestilence. It's kind of an iffy gank situation. So losing lane control this early on, not the biggest deal compared to last game where it was a really, really big thing that they lost it. Since they had a dual range with the Rhapsody together with the Ophelia, which is just super easy ganks whenever the Ophelia rotates.
Yeah. So keeping an eye on that. You see Warby again constantly just doing the pull, or at least attempting to, and lane's not going to be pushed up a little bit right here. In Chessie's favor, of course. But at the same time, Puppet Master, he's doing just fine. His Fuzi going to put out some good harassment right there. Middle lane, a little bit of back and forth, actually. Tundra might be in some trouble here. Limp's going to chase him down. Bottle, or not even Bottle, that's a health potion use coming out. Stagger, the auto attack needs one more. Can he stay in range? Yes, he can. Drunken Master just a little bit too fast right there. And Bloodlust kill in favor of Limp coming out. So caught him with the lunge initially. Yeah, the lunge, okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's really nice to see. Maybe you practiced the air a little bit since last time I saw him play it. But yeah, really important kill. They shut down the Tundra. That's the right hero to kill. Talked about it so much, probably stop. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just so important. That is the hero they need to stop from getting farm early on.
Well, already accomplishing stage 1 of that. Look at Tempest in the meantime at the top lane. Really trying to set up a gank up here, but obviously unsuccessful, specifically because of that water site right here, right next to Tempest. So they get all the vision possible. Obviously, the Hellborn team, Stigrian's like, okay, they have some kind of vision where it is. Not exactly sure, maybe, but they know there's something, so we'll see if that maybe looks to be attempt counter-warded or not, if they're just going to let it go at this point. But that's some good vision there for BMG to keep them alive at the top lane, but Pestilence is having the slight advantage, and to get Swindle Melons playing the Pestilence, it seems like more so than not he will go with the Alchemist Bones, even in cases where it feels like it wouldn't be. But I think this is one of those cases where it's like the start, because you're going up against an aggressive dual lane, you're probably not going to see Alchemist Bones here from Swindle Melons.
Definitely not. He needs that Blink Dagger early on. He's not going to have the space to really utilize Alchemist Bones fully in this game. The strategy that BMG's running, it's probably going to be get our core items, get our levels up, and then go for those team fights.
Yeah.
The Puppet Master's a little bit more there to secure the late game. But otherwise, it's probably going to be very similar to last game, where they try and force those early fights with the Ophelia levels. As soon as you get 6 or maybe even just at 5, going for that bottom tower done. But we'll see. So I don't think they're going to have the time to really make the best use out of anything similar to Alchemist Bones or any sort of farming out of any other heroes.
Yeah, again, as you mentioned, with the Steam Boot, so going to just progress from there at this point. Middle lane again. Lunge coming in right here. He already staggered on top of that, but taking some tower damage, so not going to dive too far as his Limp there on Drunken Master, but Super KG taking some good pressure. He is out of bottle charges currently, and Courier is actually still heading back to base here, so he is having to play a little bit more passive. He's going to go for the 6-minute rune at the bottom. We'll see if he is successful with this or not as far as being the main rune, but
I mean, the damage that Limp's outputting with his lunge right now is absolutely crazy. Limp Battle Cries up. He gets a bonus of 60 damage from his stagger whenever he uses it. On top of that, he also gets another, 33, I think? Yeah, 33 damage from the Warbeast Battle Cry.
Jeez.
And then I think he gets, like, a bonus 20% or something when you're using the lunge on your auto attack, so it's absolute crazy amounts of damage.
Oh, yeah, he hits hard. There is no Battle Cry on him right now. He's going to be going in on Tundra, though. Tundra forced to use the Avalanche very defensively right there. And he is going to be fine in the end, but again, you saw right there and that was without the Battle Cry. I was actually looking for that to see if he was going to use it in kind of synergy right there, but no, but still, even without it, plenty of damage as you're just getting at from Drunken Master coming out. So Tundra, forced to play very passive, is going to have to fall all the way back, or, no, never mind, he's actually now back in the lane here, ports back in, but meanwhile, though, bottom lane, you got Puppet Master, and now Ophelia's coming into the lane here to make a push happen, so we'll see how successful that may be.
Yeah, her minions are a little bit low, so it's going to be a really, really rough push for him to... Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, yeah, indeed. I didn't realize they caught Torture right there, but sure enough they did. And he goes down.
And that is actually a really big deal. Whenever you get a kill on the support long lane, the support is just going to have such a rough time. He was really close to boots as well, as you can tell by him having 300 gold in his inventory. Hopefully he's going to get it from this bottom tower, but... yeah, it's really, really important to get those kills on the support in the long lane, because it kind of wins you the lane. It's really, really suffer to get back into a lane as a support when you're long lane.
Well, there you go. Both towers going down pretty much at identical times right there. So some one-for-one tower exchanging. But, again, as we saw, we were kind of talking about there, even the support getting picked up just before that. So, I mean, overall, it is a slight advantage here for Stay Green with the way this game is going. Well, with that said, Fuzi on Puppet Master, he is off to the strong start. Bramble's not level 6 yet either. That's obviously a big impactful mark, as it usually is on most heroes. Once he gets that level 6, gets those fine walls. But actually, in the meantime, he's going to be caught right here. He is chasing back, though. Look at that ensnaring shrubbery. Mitigating a lot of damage. That's what you're talking about when he was selected right there. The hole coming out for Puppet Master Porcelain. Nice Elemental Void going to be coming out, though, from Tempest. Here comes a follow-up in Palestine. Ophelia's touch coming out, but it's not going to be enough to save Torture, and nor will it save Puppet Master. Bramble trying to finish off Tempest. He's going man mode right here. He will get the kill, but it comes at a dear cost. He goes down a 3-for-1 exchange. Big Tempest ultimate right there to start it all off. And that's how it ended. I mean, Bramble wasn't level 6 that whole time. He actually ended up being level 7 because of the kill he finally got. But he did not have the Divine Wall the whole time. Yeah,
I mean, that was just really, really nicely played from Minus. I could see it from a mile away. He was positioning himself, even like baiting it out almost. It was such good play. Staying as a last tier player to fall back, making them believe that they can go for the kill, and then just turning it around, dropping the black hole, covering the entirety of that top lane. There's just no way you can cancel that ulti, and he gets the full duration. Swindelmail is ready to turn around with the sprint, and just really, really nicely baited on Stay Green's end.
Yeah. Speaking of bait right here, actually, Drunken Master gets baited in a little bit, but oh, nope, in comes the Skeleton King. Will they be able to follow up for enough damage? No, they won't. Tundra had to fall back. I mean, he was already so low. He threw out the Avalanche, hoping for a turnaround, but it wasn't going to happen. Pestilence, in the meantime, he does catch Torturer, but he too is not going to follow it up really. Just some pill stunts and flies away in the process. But no doubt the control right here in favor of Stay Green. So kind of the opposite really of obviously what happened last game. And, you know, we talked about last game, that initial fight that took place and how BMG really snowballed from there. But they got a similar situation right there at the top lane for Stay Green's favor.
The difference, though, this time is Stay Green is running a much more defensive lineup, and they need to win these fights. If they don't, the game is going to be very, very hard on them. And whereas last game, BMG, for them, it was you win that one fight, and you pretty much got a free win straight ahead, unless we make any mistakes.
Yeah.
This game, as long as resources stay somewhat even, Stay Green is really, really far ahead. And but it's still going to take a while. It's going to be like another 20 minutes before Stay Green really, really reaches peak potential, and their heroes become very, very dangerous. That Pestilence needs to get 11. He needs to get a Blink Dagger, almost a BKB too, to really be effective in the fights. But Warbeast is going to need the Abyssal Skull, and I would like to see the Soul's Bulwark on Drunken Master early on as well.
Yeah.
But until they get those, they're probably not going to be gathering up or forcing plays at all.
Yeah.
Unless they're given to them, like at the top.
At the bottom lane, as we saw right there, Drunken Master initiates and a Warbeast follows it up in the ulti form, and they just tear apart Puppet Master. So obviously, if they get opportunities like that, they're going to take it. You do see where Fuzi died, so he was pushed up a little far right there. And obviously, it came back to bite him in the ass. In the meantime, though, his teammates are going to push middle here.
Yeah. It looked like they wanted to defend there for a second. Minus is positioning himself really, really well up on the high ground, but it looks like they're actually just giving it away. Swindelmail is really close to that Blink Dagger, so I think it's a good decision on their end. They need to just stick to their strategy. Their strategy really is just get our core items. If we get that, we're completely fine in this game. Don't need to make any plays before that, unless we get free kills like they did down bottom there on Fuzi.
Yeah. And speaking of free kills again, actually, Warbeast might be in some trouble now. He doesn't have ulti form. He is going to go for the TP maybe. No, yeah, he doesn't have enough mana for that, actually, unless he switches to Steam Boots here. Yeah, still not enough. Oh, he's going to hope for the best right here. Puppet Master caught out, but there is support coming in, actually. This could get really interesting. In the meantime, Ophelia was cut off right there, and now Torture is forced to fall back. But I think he is going to be picked off, so the bait big time from Warbeast right there. Beautiful blocking with his minions as well to prevent them from getting the kill. That might have been one of the
biggest plays I've seen in recent days. That was so huge. Really, really well done from Chess, using the two wolves, moving into fog, and just TPing out perfectly. Really, really well executed. Yeah. There are not many players in Han that I think would have the presence of mind to even think of that in that kind of a situation. So really, really well done.
Yeah, when it comes to mechanics, I mean, Chessy, he's got to be on that top tier list of players, no doubt. And definitely coming into play right there. So, yeah, beautiful play on his part, and obviously just great teamwork in the end, too. Great response from his team, and ended up working out beautifully. 2-for-0 exchange. What could have been a loss on a Warbeast right there. So, again, you know, even with that kill, though, happening, the turnaround, you still got a case. So, our Legion team, they don't need as much farm to get that earlier on impact, perhaps. And they are getting some decent items here, and obviously we've seen their push potential when they group up as 5. But Portal Key is now picked up on Pestilence. Drunken Master has that Soul's Bulwark, so these early items are also coming out here for the Hellborn side. And Abyssal Skull is just around the corner for Warbeast on top of it all. So they do have a good pace going here.
Definitely, and the Bulwark and the Abyssal Skull are absolutely huge this game. Not only do they give them... Oh, mid.
Yeah, Tundra got caught right there, actually, because of the Rev Ward that was down. Aphelios' touch comes out, but it doesn't matter. Puppet Master, though, going for the turn kill, and Tempest, he will get it. Now Chesty actually being locked down. He's going to completely regret this decision. The hold keeps him in place, and down goes Warby. So a 2-for-1 exchange, and those are takes that BMG will gladly accept right there. Again, that all started because Tundra was invis running towards the middle lane, and obviously he was spotted right there from the Rev Ward initially, but clearly BMG was ready to respond, and they do so right there. And now they're actually going to try for the double stack Ancients on the Hellborn side here. They're going to try to steal them. I don't know if this is going to be successful in the end or not, but yeah, maybe it is actually.
Yeah, good position here from Seal Kid. He was positioning himself so he only hits the smaller creeps with his Impalement, making sure that they get some farm at least, not just dropping every creep to half HP. It's a small thing, but it could make a difference in case Stay comes to defend, so important to note. But yeah, no, we got the Bulwark and the Abyssal Skull that I was touching on right before action happened in the lane that are just so huge this game, because looking at Legion lineup, they basically only have physical damage. It's the Tundra Shards are half physical, Ophelia basically only physical through the minions and auto attacks, Impalement, Torture, Bramble, I do believe the ulti is physical as well. I think so. It only says damage per attack. I believe so,
yeah. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Exactly, and Puppet Master is physical too. So any kind of armor item is just huge for them. And these items are like part of the core that these heroes build. So it's really, really smart drafting from Swindlemounds. You might not think about this, and I didn't really think about it either until the game really started and we got into this. But these heroes are always going to build these items, and they synergize so well with them. But in this game, it's just a double bonus because it's also preventing so much damage from the Legion side, and it's just really, really huge. Really smart thinking there from Swindle. A little bit of insight to probably what he was thinking during the drafting stage.
Yeah, again, no doubt. He is on that next level as far as the thought process put into the drafting stage to just years and years, literally years and years of experience that he's had on the competitive scene. So Bramble pushing in the bottom lane a little bit right there, but in the end, it's going to let it go to the tower as Pestilence is here to kind of fight it off. And Bramble, by the way, the early Energizer, he has another 1,100 gold saved up. So, again, he's kind of one of these heroes obviously we never really see too often. What kind of build should we expect on him? More team support? I mean, they already got Ophelia for those team support items. Is he just going to go mass tank next, or?
I think the way we used to build Bramble was you just tank him up, and then you let him sit up front, and then you drop the Ensnaring Shrubbery on somebody else. I think that's the way to do it, so that everybody gets healed, and he's just sitting there doing damage. I think that's how you do it. It's like you want to have... I just got really insecure now. But the way we used to build them was we just tanked them up and used him as like a healing source for the entire team. Yeah. The team becomes invulnerable if he's really, really
he seems like one of those heroes. If they didn't have Ophelia, like, he'd be building an Astrolabe and, like, Plated Greaves and stuff like that. But Ophelia's taking care of that, so because of that, the next best step, again, as you put it, I wouldn't be surprised if that makes the most sense here. To just kind of mass tank yourself and then use that shrubbery for others. But so we'll see what direction Jonas Fan goes in here. Assassin Shroud, it's being worked on here from Puppet Master, of course, and he's actually doing some Ancients currently, and that's going to be a good boost for him, of course. Yeah. Let's see when he gets that, but Drunken continues to lead the way at the time being.
Sorry for cutting you off, but Bulwark I think is definitely the way to go from now that I'm looking over the lineups. The minus armor from Stay Green is just huge, and they're also basically pure physical damage, so definitely armor for the team.
Yeah, so again, kind of the aspect of just being about that team hero in the end. Invulnerability here in the middle lane. Here we go. Tundra coming out with the Avalanche on, and Tempest. Will the follow-up be enough right here? Skeleton King coming out. There's the net. Tempest, he does have an ultimate. Will he get the opportunity? Absolutely not. Warbeast actually running in right there. He ulti force, but he's being locked down completely. Puppet Master's great at doing that, especially against the likes of Warbeast. Tundra barely survives, but he does. Drunken Master is coming in with the flank, but he can't really get the best positioning right there. So another couple of picks for Bad Monkey Gaming. And you see Tundra's actually going to pour it back to make sure to heal up right here. But yeah, some nice picks. And I'll say, Warbeast is running into some trouble against this Puppet Master. Understandably, again. Puppet's great against these melee kind of carry heroes. Yeah.
And I think I was touching on this a little bit earlier, that how when you're playing as a Tundra, you easily get stressed and you start thinking, oh my god, we have to do something. And SG, they were in such a great position 5 minutes ago, but now they've thrown away 2 team fights against this BMG lineup, and it's really a big deal because if it weren't for these fights, Stay Green probably would be looking at BKBs pretty soon on their heroes. But it's just so scary to play against Tundra. You don't know where he is. He has that hawk, so you always feel like you're being watched. And it's just forcing these mistakes from Stay Green where they go for the pushes that they can't really take. And these fights that they're forcing right now. If they are able to get their coordinates, finish up the BKBs, it's going to be a completely different game. So just slow down the game pace from them and stick to the strategy that they have picked. Stick to what they need to do, which is what Swindle and Limp are doing right now. They're just farming, trying to get the BKBs. I think that's all they need to do. Don't go for the aggressive plays.
Yeah, well, as you see that, Drunken Master's kind of chasing the Ophelia minions right there. But in the end, not really the biggest harm done, as Bramble actually even got ported back right there as he's kind of charging. And Bramble did buy something. Was it the Soul's Bulwark? Is it on the Courier, perhaps? Oh, it's a Sackstone, actually.
Sackstone, yeah.
So,
Still the same role.
Exactly, yeah. Has that same concept. Again, speaking of Puppet Master, he is able to stay alive right there in the middle lane, but hold the bottom lane coming out. Tundra's in some trouble. Tundra's going to be locked out completely and eventually falls from there. Ophelia's going to try to live. Big chain of reactions hit by Seal Kid. Trying to save the day, at least initially. Will it be enough for maybe a turn kill to Tempest? Ophelia really wants that turn kill. And now Torture is forced to chase. He will get the turn kill. Well, but at what cost? Torture now in trouble himself. Puppet Master porting in. He has a swarm debuff on. No, it actually wears off, if anything. He's going to set shot. Big stun, though, from Swinnamelons. Catches him. The chain reactions come out and misses completely. And Puppet Master is going to be caught on and eventually picked off. It just got sloppy there from BMG. They were picking fights that maybe they shouldn't have been in the first place. And Stay Green capitalizes big time. They win the fight there with ease for the most part. Tempest did die, but still, they got the tower kill on top of that. So, one momentum built up for Stay Green here.
Absolutely huge black hole. It catches the Skeleton King right on the edge there. And that really is the difference between winning and losing the fight. Had Hanskin kept the Skeleton King outside of the Tempest Hole, that would have been a one fight for them, I do believe, if they would have been able to mass TP. Unfortunately, Jonas he just got his TP up now. So it was kind of a bad decision for them to force that fight anyways. They've been getting some momentum, winning these fights 5 versus 5, and they just falls apart there. And now Stay Green are really close to the BKBs. We got it finished on Limp already. Shrunken Head should be pretty close on Chessie. Yeah, he only needs 500 gold. So suddenly from a pretty horrible position for Stay Green to not horrible, they were still doing good, but from a pretty even situation to being really, really far ahead now and almost at the point of GG.
Yeah.
Over which small mistakes.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a tough spot. Now, I will say, though, you look at Puppet Master, and he is great against this Hellborn team in terms of the lockdown that he brings, not only against the Warbeast, but actually speaking of Tundra at the bottom lane. Ophelia's touch barely enough to keep him alive. No gore procs coming out right there from Pestilence and not able to get the kill. And now they might be in some trouble themselves. Oh, nope, he does get picked off. Chessie used the Hellhounds to finish him up, but now Swinnamelons is going to be locked down as well. And they will at least get a turn kill on a Pestilence. They should. Yeah, okay. They will get the kill onto him. Torture's chasing Warbeast, actually. Yep, chain reactions catches. He has 30 seconds still in the ulti form. He might be fine. I mean, they don't really have any blinks. Yeah, he is going to be fine in the end right there. So
I think he actually might have been able to get the kill on Chessie there had he not auto-attacked and just walked after him, waited for another stun and used the impalement. But he didn't, but it's fine. It would have been a close call. Yeah. Jesse might have even been able to turn that around, considering he has that lifesteal. But yeah, no, it's a pick off on Swinnamelons. It's not the biggest deal, but it's always good, of course, to get the kills.
It's always good to kill Swinnamelons.
Yeah,
that is true.
Always good to kill Swinnamelons.
So they have that going for them, but yeah. But again, going back to the point of Puppet Master, the Puppet Show, the Puppet Soul, great against these heroes, but at the same time. Obviously, his farm, it started off really strong, but it's still solid, 353 gold per minute, but he's died now, what, 3 times? Yeah, that's kind of slowing down the pace here of things for both himself and his team. And now you see Kongor is going to be attempted here by Stay Green, at least initially.
And I think BMG are probably going to try to fight this. It would be typical, I feel a BMG kind of play. Just go for the fight. If we win it, we win it. If we don't, well, let's just go to the next game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Puppet Master, he is really, really good against the heroes individually. But when you match him against 3 carries at once, his power level suddenly drops very, very much. Because he's not able to... He really has that one burst in his ulti, and then he has a CC for a second hero, probably. Yeah. But yeah, Team fight starting.
Oh, here we go. Bramble puts the wall down right there. Tundra coming in with the avalanche. The token of life was picked up by Drunken Master, by the way. Now Bramble starting to fall. In the meantime, Puppet Master, he also gets locked down. He needs to be very careful. He needs to stay on the outskirts. He's kind of doing that for now, actually. And actually, Warbeast is going to be locked down. And Warbeast taking a good chunk of damage right here. However, here comes the Impale Sound. And all of a sudden, look at Puppet Master starting to lose some life. He pops the Assassin's Shroud, though. And the turnaround. BMG somehow winning this fight right here. All 5 are still up. And they're going to lock down Drunken Master. He is able to lunge away, though. And they will get the kill on a Puppet Master. But now Drunken Master is going to be locked down himself, and he will fall in the end. What just happened there? Bad Monkey Gaming, they dominate the fight in the end.
It was beautiful play by Hanskin. I mean, Ophelia is a hero you don't really notice when he makes big plays. And I mean, Chessie has been considered the god of Ophelia for so long. I'm not sure if he is anymore. That was so beautiful. Hanskin lining up the triple stun with the Minotaurs in that fight, with all 3 of them, and just linking them perfectly. I think it was Empath, who was inside one of the heroes, Warbeast and Drunken Master, just locking them down for 6 seconds, which is such a long time in a team fight like that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was just really, really, really well played on his end.
Well, and I think we also saw a little bit of the power of Bramble, too, there. I mean, Bramble, not only the ensnaring shrubbery, but the combat vigor is something to keep in mind during a fight like that. But then his entangling vine wall, it's one of those awkward abilities that can really kind of screw you up in terms of your positioning or where you want to go, and you have to path around it and everything. So, on top of just the nice damage that it was putting out. So, I'm not saying that you carried that fight by any means, but no doubt having an impact there in the end.
Sure.
So. And the other big thing about that, too, they have a Bound Eye now. I don't know if they had a Rev Ward or a Bound Eye that last fight either.
And they did.
Did they?
Yeah, they had the eye up on Z-Freak for a couple of minutes now.
Okay, so they did have it. Okay.
Yeah. No, but it was quite interesting because Bramble was inside of the Conquer Pit, I think, 10-15 seconds before his team even got close. And then he managed to draw. Bramble was down at 10% HP at the end of the team fight. And considering that he probably had an ensnaring shrubbery on himself, and that heals his team for, what, I don't remember, is it 40%?
40%. No, that's a slow. Enemies.
No, he heals him as well for the amount.
40% of the damage applied, okay.
Yeah, so he healed himself for 40% of his own life's HP to his team, on top of the Ophelia heal, which probably kept his team alive, because they did not have a lot of HP coming out of the team fight. So another one of those skills that you don't really notice it as a spectator, but it probably had a massive impact on that team fight in making them come out on top. So, yeah, Bramble pick definitely, I think, is doing work.
The Bramble effect. Making it work right here, definitely. Jonas and Fan playing a very solid, again, the hero just itself is a very just good team utility hero. They're going to kind of move as a team right here, clearing out the Hellborn jungle, moving towards the top lane. And I mean, you look at the tower situation. They killed both middle towers earlier on. They killed the bottom first tower. The first tower top, though, is still up, and I think that's where BMG is exactly going to head, as sure enough they do. So, you know, the Shrunken Head timing, I mean, was kind of there for Stay Green. They had it on Drunken, they had it on Warbeast, and those were obviously very, very scary pickups to deal against on this Legion side, but clearly still doing enough in the last fight to not only win it, but dominate it. They will have a Shrunken Head, though, on Pestilence here in the near future with that said. So, I mean, there's soon going to be that triple Shrunken Head. Hell, even a quad Shrunken Head. Tempest is also going to be going for one. So, those are going to be very impactful, as they tend to be in these games, no doubt. But let's wait and see until that actually comes into full play here. But they could still stop it with, oh, actually, what's going on here? Pestilence puts the swarm up, then quickly portal keys away. So BMG trying to engage in a fight right there, but not able to do so.
BMG probably feeling confident they just won a team fight against the token, so Swindle's really, really deep.
Yeah.
Force out the flight. Oh no, he's
there we go. Avalanche going to be gone right there. Doesn't take the damage anymore, but it's still going to be more than enough to take him out. Warby's going to be locked down. The Minotaur's doing the stun thing, but now he pops the Shrunken Head. He's going to be able to chase them down. Ophelia is that target of choice. He got the touch off. He will follow the Elemental Void. It only gets the minions. The stun from Pestilence on a Puppet Master. Puppet Master goes down right there. Bramble is doing his best impression of damage right here, but I don't think it's going to be enough, or will it actually? Warbeast is being chased down, and maybe, yes, they will pick up Warbeast, but they've already lost a lot of resources right here. Tundra is going to barely stay alive. Bramble, though, I mean, again, he is so taken, and Ophelia's minions are still here assisting. The ensnaring shrubbery didn't work right there, but not enough. Down goes Tundra, and now Bramble's in trouble as well. Pestilence is trying his darnest to chase him down right here. The Courier slow even help, and all the minions that have been around. And actually, Bramble, ensnaring shrubbery, no, it doesn't even matter. He is going to be picked off, so Stay Green, they do come out on top of that fight right there, despite Pestilence getting jumped immediately.
Yeah, I do believe that was a buyback from Swinamelons.
It was, yeah.
Limp has used one as well, but I don't know when. Did he buy back this fight too?
I think he used it there. Yeah, I'm checking the text. Did he die?
I don't think he died.
Maybe he didn't die, actually. Never mind that.
Yeah.
Maybe that was earlier.
Yeah, but speaking of Empath, 3,000 gold saved up on Z-Freak right now. I don't think it's every day you see a support hero with that much gold this early on.
Yeah.
But it's kind of awkward. What is he going to go for? He doesn't really have... Normally, you'd like to see the Abyssal Skull probably on the Empath, but Warbeast has already got that, so... I don't know. He has a lot of options. Goes for a tablet. Okay.
I was going to say Lex Taliona seems to be popular on him, too.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Cases, so... But nope. Goes a tablet. Tablet's always a solid option to have.
Yeah, definitely. Especially against the Vine Wall from Bramble as well. Just push yourself over. Try and get away from it. Tundra Freeze also kind of gets... I mean, Avalanche, sorry. Gets countered by tablets pretty hard because it makes it really hard for you to follow up on that initiation.
Yeah.
But now, overall, really looking good for Stay Green. They just got to stay in the game. The longer the game gets, the better they are going to look in it.
Yeah.
Brutalizer starting to be worked on Warbeast. Together with the Pestilence Gore, that's going to be a pain for Puppet Master, who is soon going to be the only real source of damage on BMG's side as we get further into the game. I said 20 minutes later at the 10-minute mark, so in a minute and a half, Stay Green should be at full potential, if I called it right.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't really quite look like yet. They still need to be keeping on Tempest and Pestilence, but around that mark, they should be really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, they've been in control for most of this game here, and they're definitely, you can even argue they're in their best spot so far, honestly. So, yeah, Puppet Master, the Shrunken Head, obviously almost safely say a necessary pickup, but, you know, will that be the biggest difference maker here in this game, especially with all that physical damage coming out? He is dropping quick in these team fights as soon as they can find the opportunity to jump him. So, Drunken does have a full demonic breastplate that he's been working with here for a little bit. In fact, they're going to chase, but nope, not going to be able to catch anybody here. At least just yet.
He has a bottle double damage rune as well, so...
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he's going to be hitting really, really hard. But no, as you said, the Shrunken Head really not going to have much impact on the Puppet Master. I feel like it's more of a, hey, I'll buy it, but he's not really thinking about it, because it's really not going to save him from much. I suppose he just wants to get away from the Tempest and the Empath.
Yeah. And
the initial stun from Pestilence, but it's just not going to have much of an impact. In terms of strategy, it's kind of hard to say what BMG really needs to do. They need to find a pickup. I don't think they can face Stay Green 5 vs 5 anymore, but they did win that fight in the river with some huge plays. I mean, if they're able to play like that, of course it is possible.
Yeah.
But strategy-wise, look for the pickoffs. Stay Green's probably split up at this point. And from BMG's point of view, they're trying to get farm on a lot of heroes, so that's what they should be going for.
Well, yeah, here we go. A lot of Shrunken Heads going out for here. The Hellboy team chasing big time. BMG's trying to spread out, but Torch is already picked up. Pestilence going to be locked down in the background. He doesn't have his Shrunken Head just yet, but Ophelia goes down, and now Puppet Master running back in. He's doing basically no damage this whole fight, though. He is just running this whole time. He's going to get caught by the Element of Void, and they cannot stop it with what they have currently. He got the Shrunken Head off onto Puppet Master at least, and now he's going to try to hold his ground. The Voodoo Puppet's put out. He's going for Warbeast right there, it looks like, but it's just not going to be enough. He's taking way too much damage. He will go down. Bramble's still alive, but it's almost as if Staker doesn't even care about that. As Drunken does go down, actually. So they will get the one kill right there. Bramble's going to get a second kill, so holy crap. Never mind about not caring. Bramble just doing some big work right here for BMG yet again. So, yeah, I mean, the way I thought for sure that was just going to be overwhelming for Staker once again, but with the way that finished, I mean, it wasn't too bad in the end for BMG, I guess. But still.
Yeah, Swinamelons blinked in a little bit awkwardly there. He blinked straight into Tundra and Bramble and just pretty much allowed for himself to die. He's executed the teamfights really, really well. I've kept an extra eye on him because I feel like he's kind of the difference maker in this game. If he gets really, really big stuns off, that's going to be huge. He sets up the damage for both Warbeast and Drunken Master. And so far in the game, he's been playing very, very patiently, sitting out, waiting for the opportunity to get at least a double or triple stun before he goes in. Not just jumping first best target. So... which he did there, which is kind of sloppy, and I think that's really why this teamfight went much worse than the previous ones.
Full Demonic is actually coming out for Bramble right here again. He's really showing his presence here throughout this game, and Full Demonic will definitely help plentiful here for him and his team. They're going to try to jump here on the Pestilence in that middle lane, but Swinamel's just a little bit too quick. And able to fall back beforehand. Tundra going to try to scout things out now with the Shiver and see if they can maybe get that jump still. He obviously has that portal key here, but ain't going to be happening. As Pestilence, a little perceptive to that, and yeah, not going to really find the best opportunity. So, Drunken Master, though, another 1,600. Well, excuse me there. Another 1,600 gold saved up on himself. Obviously used that one buyback earlier on, so using a decent amount of gold into that. But a Shrunken Head on Pestilence, though, again, you keep eye on that as really the next level here, especially since Tempest does have enough gold for that Shrunken Head now. It's just a matter of actually purchasing it right here, and it looks like he's going to maybe do that here. There you go. As he ports back. So I think it's safe to say BMG, they're the ones that need to make the moves here at this point of the game, kind of like they've had to. So
yeah, it's kind of sad because when you pick a Tundra, you really want to be able to play with the factor that he forced, and we saw it a little bit in the earlier stages how Stay Green were kind of feeling like, hey, we can't really farm. We got our small items. Let's just try and do something, and they were getting punished for it. But yeah, at this stage in the game, it's just they don't have the resources really to scare Stay Green anymore. They don't really care if they're spotted out by the bird. They know what they're capable of, and
well, here we go. They're going to go for Pestilence here. The entangling fall wall comes down as well. Pestilence dropping pretty quickly. He will end up falling in the end. Warbeast with that Shrunken Head activated by the good spread coming out from BMG. Drunken Master, the entangling fight wall, doing so much slow right there. He just could not nearly get it close enough for the initiation. And that's how it'll end. Pestilence did buy back again, so he is now out of buybacks here. Perhaps going into another fight. So he will not have that Shrunken Head once again for a little bit longer.
This should be Kongor, though.
Yeah.
There's no Entangling Vine Wall up, and there's no Thunder Ulti. These are two huge impact spells for BMG, but oh, look at this aggressive play from Torture. He gets a double stun.
Yeah, big chain reactions coming out right there, but a big Impale Stun as well coming out from Pestilence in the meantime. Tempest ultimate going to be pulling them in. He has that Shrunken Head up. That's going to be a full duration right there. Bramble also got caught in the midst of it. Tempest made a falling. Yes, he will, but what will happen in the end? Ophelia's doing enough lockdown right here onto Limp. Limp is going balls to the wall, though. He has an untouchable up. He's trying to do enough damage, trying to stay alive in the end. Bramble's chasing him down. They will pick off, who was that? That was Torture in the background, I think. And now Ophelia is actually in such trouble. It was Tundra in the background. But now Ophelia is going to be gone on. She, too, will fall. And Bramble, once again, the last man standing here for BMG. So, again, another case of BMG. It's almost looking like they can kind of squeak on through, but not nearly enough. And about that Kongor, now they're definitely doing Kongor. And this will easily be that Kongor kill now. So, that you kind of feel like now, especially with them getting Kongor on top of it, that was almost that final hump there that BMG maybe had a chance of. But it's going to be pretty crazy now at this point.
From this point onward, I think it's going to be very, very rough for them to win the game. We saw their Limp got away with like 10% HP. Killing him twice is going to be nearly impossible. He was a focus fire there at the teamfight too. I do believe the Puppet Master ultimate was on top of it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if there ever was a real window for BMG to come back into the game. It feels like it's closing now.
Yeah.
Stay Green looking super strong. Really nice execution there in the fight. Minuts, once again, beautiful positioning, allowing for him to get that ultimate off.
Yeah, obviously, like usual, another big Tempest ultimate there coming out and kind of secure the deal in that last fight for sure. I mean, BMG, they were pushing it. They were the ones that really wanted to engage in that fight, but that goes back to the logic. They've had to. I mean, that's where they've been at. They thought they had an opportunity. They went for the best that they had, and it started off decent again. It really did, but again, just too much firepower from Stay Green coming out. So they aren't going to be giving up here necessarily. This is just game 2 of a best out of 5, and at this rate, if Stay Green pulls ahead, then it will be going to a 1-1 series here in this best out of 5. But BMG going to see if there's any hope here in terms of making a one last effort comeback as they try.
They do
to
have
pick
a double
up
damage on Puppet.
Do they? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. But ooh,
no, just out of range. Tundra coming in though. Nope, can't catch it.
Minus is going to be just fine. But yeah, no, it feels like the game is coming to an end, and I think it was a smart play there from BMG actually forcing that fight. They needed to take a fight, and they got a double stun initiation from Seal Kid, which is so it's unheard of. A support player 40 minutes into the game getting a beautiful initiation, but they just simply don't have the resources to be able to follow it up. And I feel like maybe they haven't realized it themselves quite yet, but it really is. That just is the problem. They can't really follow up their initiates and just don't have the damage they need.
Yeah. Oh, we got a 5v5 engagement definitely brewing right here. The Hellhounds in the front lines. Passes. Oh, he missed the Impel Sun, actually. Bramble was just out of range, but now Bramble's going to be gone by Drunken Master. Again, he's tanky, but just look at the damage output coming out. He gets tapping away. It doesn't matter. The Integrity Firewall is put down, but that's just a distraction. If anything, chain reactions don't do a damn thing. Drunken Edge are too powerful. Puppet Master, basically two-shot right there. And I think we're going to see those GG well-playeds coming out here. It's just clearly way too much damage to handle. And there you go. Game number 2 officially going to Stay Green. And hell, that's just a good thing as a spectator especially. That means we're now tied at 1 game apiece here in this best out of 5. So we at least have 2 more games coming. Possibly even 3 more coming at you. So game 2 in the books. Final thoughts there on that one, Insania?
I mean, Stay Green, they stuck to strategies they are really comfortable running. This is something they ran at DreamHack. This worked for them. This has worked for them, and it worked for them again. In terms of just pure strategy, I feel like BMG had a pretty good draft to deal with it, but it's just a matter of execution. Stay Green executed perfectly. Z-Freak ending at 4-0 and 22 as a support player, playing absolutely perfectly. I mean, we didn't talk about him at all during the game because there was so much other stuff to talk about. But
that's true, yeah.
Probably the silent hero of the game here.
He definitely deserves some attention, especially with a hero stat like that. So, well played.